What do you picture when you think of Africa before colonialism? For many of us, the image is blurry, often shaped by old movies or incomplete history books. We might imagine vast, empty landscapes, small tribes, or a general state of chaos. But what if I told you that this picture is almost entirely wrong? What if the real history of pre-colonial Africa is a story of powerful empires, bustling cities, and complex societies that rivaled any in the world at the time? Let's start by wiping the slate clean. Before the first European ships arrived with colonial ambitions, Africa was a continent of kingdoms, not just tribes. We're talking about massive, organized states that governed millions of people. Take the Mali Empire, for instance. In the 14th century, it was one of the largest and wealthiest empires on earth. Its ruler Mansa Musa was so fabulously rich from gold that his pilgrimage to Mecca literally changed the economy of the regions he passed through. The Mali Empire wasn't just wealthy, it was a center of learning. The city of Timbuktu housed one of the world's great universities, with a library containing hundreds of thousands of manuscripts on subjects from astronomy to law. This wasn't some primitive outpost, it was a beacon of intellectual life, and Mali wasn't an exception. To the east, the Songhai Empire rose, controlling crucial trade routes across the Sahara. To the south, the Kingdom of Congo had a sophisticated political structure, with a centralized government, a system of provincial governors, and diplomatic ties with other nations, including Portugal. Long before colonization began, in southern Africa, the Empire of Great Zimbabwe built incredible stone cities, the ruins of which still baffle archaeologists today with their scale and precision. These weren't just random settlements, they were the capitals of powerful, organized states that managed vast territories. How did these empires function? Just like any other advanced society. They had structured political systems. There were kings, emperors, and councils of elders who made decisions. They had laws, and they had systems to enforce them. They collected taxes to fund their governments and armies. They didn't just exist, they governed. These weren't chaotic lands, waiting for order to be imposed. They had their own order, their own systems of justice, and their own methods of managing large, diverse populations. The economies of these societies were also incredibly sophisticated. Long before Europeans dominated global trade, Africa was a key player. Trans-Saharan trade routes were the superhighways of their time, connecting West Africa with North Africa, the Middle East, and even Europe. What were they trading? Gold, of course. For centuries, a huge portion of the world's gold came from West Africa. But it wasn't just gold. They traded salt, which was as valuable as gold in many parts of the continent. They traded ivory, textiles, and cola nuts. In East Africa, Swahili city-states like Kilwa and Mombasa were hubs of a vibrant maritime trade network stretching across the Indian Ocean to Arabia, Persia, India, and China. They exported goods and, in return, imported porcelain, silks, and spices. Africa wasn't isolated. It was globally connected. Let's talk about the cities. When we think of ancient cities, we might think of Rome or Athens, but Africa had its own metropolises. Benin City, in modern-day Nigeria, was described by European visitors in the 16th century as a marvel of urban planning. It was surrounded by massive defensive walls, longer than the Great Wall of China. The city was laid out in a grid, with wide streets and houses that were kept impeccably clean. It was the capital of a powerful kingdom, renowned for its stunning bronze art. Similarly, the Swahili cities on the East African coast were cosmopolitan centers with beautiful stone architecture, mosques, and bustling markets. These were places of culture, commerce, and innovation. Culture and spirituality were the bedrock of these societies. African spiritual systems were diverse and deeply philosophical, often centered on the idea of balance between humanity and nature, the living and the ancestors, the individual and the community. Life was guided by a strong sense of collective responsibility and identity rooted in lineage and ancestry. Art wasn't just decorative. It was functional and spiritual. Masks were used in ceremonies, sculptures honored ancestors, and music and dance were integral parts of social life. This was a world rich with meaning, tradition, and artistic expression. So, where did the myth of a dark continent come from? It was largely a justification for colonialism. To justify conquering a land and exploiting its people and resources, you first have to paint them as uncivilized, as needing to be saved or developed. Colonial powers systematically dismantled the existing political and economic structures they found. They drew arbitrary borders that cut across ethnic and cultural lines, creating the seeds of future conflicts. They suppressed local industries to make way for their own goods. And most importantly, they rewrote history, erasing the memory of the great African civilizations that had come before. Colonialism didn't bring civilization to Africa. It interrupted it. It disrupted highly evolved systems of governance, trade, and culture. It imposed a new order, one designed not for the benefit of Africans, but for the benefit of the colonizers. The legacy of this disruption is still felt today, in political instability, economic challenges, and a continued struggle for cultural identity. Understanding what existed before colonialism is not just an academic exercise. It's about reclaiming a lost history. It's about recognizing that Africa has always been a continent of innovators, leaders, and thinkers. The story of Africa doesn't start with European arrival. It starts thousands of years earlier, with the rise of pharaohs in Egypt, the construction of pyramids in Nubia, the flourishing of empires in the Sahel, and the building of stone cities in the south. By learning about the empires of Mali and Songhai, the kingdoms of Congo and Benin, the trade networks of the Swahili coast, and the intellectual achievements of Timbuktu, we get a much truer, more complex, and more respectful picture of the continent. We see a history not of emptiness, but of abundance, not of chaos, but of order, not of primitivism, but of profound civilization. This is the history that was ignored for too long, but it's a history that deserves to be known. Africa's past is rich, and understanding it is the key to understanding its present and its future. The narrative of a continent waiting to be discovered is a myth. The reality is a continent with a history as deep, complex, and magnificent as any other on this planet. Thank you so much for watching. If this video opened your eyes to a different side of history, please hit that like button and subscribe for more content that challenges the narratives we've been taught. And let me know in the comments which pre-colonial African kingdom you'd like to learn more about next. See you in the next video.